While states continue to count votes, stocks are actually down on Wall Street. Selling is intensifying in the last hour as we wait to learn which party will control the House and Senate. Some of those key races still too close to call, but exit polls already show that inflation, we probably knew this already. We do know this already. It was top of mind for voters. ABC News' Elizabeth Shulze here to share some of her thoughts. First of all, we're both wearing purple, clearly, as you said, representing the state of our country right now.
It's the, bipartisanship that we've got here. We didn't plan it, by the way.
That's right. It was not planned. Maybe we should have wore green to represent how much more money we would like to see in our pocketbooks, our 401ks.
I like that.
Good segue, right? All right. We do have this ABC polling, though, that is showing that more American voters do trust Republicans to handle the economy. So what do you make of this red wave crash prediction that actually crashed early?
Yeah, a couple of different explanations if you're looking at this from the economic point of view. One is that if you're thinking about inflation, look at gas prices over the past month. They actually did start to come down in the final weeks before the election for voters who are really concentrated on prices and inflation, and you look at gas prices, that's the most obvious measure of prices. Maybe they saw that there's a little bit of progress that could have helped some of the Democratic candidates. The other reality is that, yes, the economy is a top issue, but there were other issues that brought voters out in full force. We've been talking about it all day. Abortion was one of them. And some candidates might have gone to the polls and said, look, I care about the economy, but I care about abortion too. The Democratic ticket might be enough for me on that front. And then I've been talking to some analysts who say the other issue here on inflation specifically is that Republicans, no doubt, hammered Democrats on the messaging. They really got across this idea that President Biden's handling of the economy has been bad. We saw that in some of the exit polling where voters show that they are financially worse off now than they were 2 years ago. But Republicans didn't really offer a solution on the inflation front. That might have been something that voters thought about when they're saying, well, maybe this is something that isn't in control when I'm casting my ballot. Maybe that's one of the reasons why the wave wasn't as big as some predicted.
All right, well, let's look at the big board. Stocks still down. What do you think is driving this? I mean, in addition, of course, we're waiting for the outcome of a number of races and where we are. But what do you think are driving the numbers right now?
Right. You can see some pretty serious selling there. There are two things the markets don't like here. We've said it before on the show, uncertainty and surprises. And this midterm election gave us a little bit of both of those. Wall Street had been expecting this red wave, so this was a surprise today. There's a lot of uncertainty, not just about how this is going to shake out, but when. And there's a sense of, is this going to take days? Is this going to take weeks? We're now looking at that runoff election in Georgia. The more uncertainty there is in the path of Congress, the more uncertainty there is in the markets. And what that really translates into is policies that we're going to see in government. If Republicans do take control of the House and the Senate, that would mean a lot more gridlock. That actually could mean less change for businesses, for consumers. If Democrats are successful in holding on to the Senate, maybe there would be some changes in taxes or regulation, changes in nominations for agencies. That's something that a lot of the traders that I talk to look at pretty closely.
Right, because no matter what party, both parties are going to have to fight inflation. Do you see one party maybe doing a better job than another at this point? I mean,
both certainly say they're doing the better job.
Right.
We hear it from the White House. We hear it from Democrats. They say, hey, we're passing the policies that are going to bring costs down. We've already done it with some legislation. Democrats, are continuing to try to talk about how they've released oil, for example, from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, helping bring down gas prices. Republicans counter and say, look, Democrats had all of this reckless spending. That's one of the reasons why we're in this situation where inflation is so high in the first place. I think one important reminder for peeps out there is that when it comes to inflation, the White House can do what it wants, Congress can try to do what it wants, but a lot of it still comes down to the Federal Reserve. We know that they're really trying to fight inflation aggressively right now, and it's really the main job of the Federal Reserve, and they are saying that they're going to continue raising interest rates. We got a 0.75% basis, a huge rate hike again last week. As long as that's the case, inflation really is going to try to come down on their front, but it means there might be a recession along the way. So that's why we keep such a close eye on the Federal Reserve. Also going to get some new inflation numbers tomorrow, and that's really going to have a big impact, obviously, on us at the prices we pay, but also in the stock market too.
Yeah, and we can't keep raising rates.
At some
point, we have to stop.
You've got to wonder when it's finally going to say it's just too expensive across the board for everyone.
All right. Well, as we watch results come in, we'll monitor the numbers. We'll talk again. Elizabeth, thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.